New construction homes are a hot topic in Florida right now, with builders offering these crazy incentives to get these homes sold. But it's not all sunshine and roses. There are a lot of pitfalls and nightmares that can happen when buying a new construction home. And there are also lies and myths about new construction, and that's what this video is about. Let's get into it. By the way, I'm Shae Green with Impact Realty Tampa Bay. If you have any Tampa Bay area real estate questions, or you're looking for a realtor in the area, go ahead and reach out. You can send me a text or shoot me an email. So I'm currently working with buyers that are looking for a new construction home, and as I've been guiding and advising them through this process, it's really got me thinking about all the pitfalls that can happen when buying new construction. And I think there's a lot of misinformation out there, even spread by the builders themselves. So that's why I wanted to make this video. So very first, I wanted to talk about the different types of new construction and get some definitions out of the way. So there are typically three different types of new construction. The first one is a tract home, and that's what you typically think of when you think of new construction. That's where a builder buys the land themselves, they subdivide the plots, they have the entire subdivision, and then they have different house plans. And then you, as the buyer, you can go in, you can select what plot you want, you can choose from the builder's list of floor plans, you can customize the flooring, the cabinets, things like that. But it's all within the builder's set choices. And then the builder builds the home according to the choices that you made. Then the second type of new construction is the custom home. That's where typically you have bought your own piece of land, maybe you've already owned that land, and you go choose a builder and you can customize everything. You're not in a set tract or a set subdivision, and these homes are usually one of a kind on a plot of land and not within a cookie cutter subdivision. The third type of home is a spec home, and that's where the builder builds the home without having a buyer lined up ahead of time. So most of the builders' incentives that you see are for these spec homes or quick move-in homes. These are homes that are already built, you didn't customize anything, and the builders are just trying to sell these homes quickly and move their inventory. So most of the lies and pitfalls that we're going to talk about today relate to spec homes and these quick move-in homes that you don't get to see the process of them being built. But you'll also come across some of these issues in a custom home and definitely in a tract home as well. So I did want to put those definitions out there because typically the riskiest new construction is the spec home, because you had no idea what the builder was doing while they were building the home. Okay, so let's get into 6 lies about new construction. So lie number 1 is that you don't need a realtor. So I've actually heard of builders telling buyers that they don't need to get their own realtor and they can just use the realtor that works for the builder, which that is crazy. I've heard of it happening multiple times and it just blows my mind, because these builders, they have their own realtors that they've hired, and you know, it's in the builder's best interest to sell the home. They don't really care about you. You will not have anyone in your corner. And so that is like one of the biggest pitfalls when buying a new construction home. So definitely get your own realtor, get your own representation, and do not rely on the realtor that is hired by the builder. And lie number 2 is that you don't need an inspection because it's a new home. I've actually heard of the builder's realtors saying this to buyers, which is so scary to me. You absolutely want an inspection, and as many inspections as you want to do, you are more than welcome, and it's fully within your rights to do so. I have heard horror story after horror story of buyers who bought a new construction, either didn't get it inspected or didn't inspect it very well, and then as soon as they moved in, they realized some horrible problems. An example is a family that moved in, and after their first weekend, they had flooding in one of the bathrooms. It got all over into the flooring, into the carpet in the bedroom, and it turned out that the builder did not connect the tub drain, meaning whenever water went into the tub, it actually was just pouring out under the floor. So that is an absolute nightmare, and something like that can be found in an inspection. And I've heard of all kinds of other crazy plumbing slash sewer stories with new construction, like people leaving beer bottles in the pipes, cement in the pipes, all sorts of crazy things that should not happen. And if you get proper inspections, you get the sewer scoped just to give you peace of mind that everything is functioning correctly before you live in the home. Okay, and that leads me to lie number 3, which is that a new construction home is going to be lower maintenance with less problems than an older home just because it's brand new. And that is not the case. And I would say most of the time that's actually not the case, because with an older home, even if it's just a couple of years old, it's been tested. People have been living in there. Something like the issue with that bathtub drain would never be happening in a home where people are actually living in there and using it regularly. That's not to say that you shouldn't buy a new construction home, but definitely get it thoroughly inspected. And by the way, if you're doing a tract home or a custom home and you have the different inspections throughout, like the pre-drywall inspection, it can be in your best interest to hire an independent inspector that's not hired by the builder to inspect the property as well throughout the process. And there's kind of a mass generalization about new construction, like it's all in the same bucket, and that's not true at all. Not all builders are created equally. The quality between different builders can vary wildly. In fact, one of the largest home builders, D.R. Horton, has had crazy lawsuits because of the poor quality of their builds and roofs collapsing, all sorts of wild things happening. So you do have to be really careful with the builder that you choose. And in addition to that, even the same builder, they'll have different subcontractors, different PMs, and the quality of those can vary wildly too. So my suggestion, if you're buying a spec home or even a tract home, but there's already been houses built in that subdivision, is to talk directly with homeowners that are going to be your future neighbors. As a realtor, that's something I'm more than happy to do, to just get an idea of the issues, if any, that people have been having with those homes. And that's kind of the best way to gauge whether or not you're going to have potential issues, aside from obviously getting the inspections. By the way, I feel like I'm painting builders in such a horrible light. There are a lot of very honest, reputable builders, but there are just so many moving pieces in the process of building a home, so many different people coming in and out, and there are so many ways that things could go wrong. So you just need to be overly cautious and do not fall for the lies or the myths or things that the builders might say. You need to get your own representation, your own inspectors in there. Okay, so that leads me to lie number 4, which is something that some builders might say when there's a potential issue that comes up before the home is officially purchased. So maybe if it's during an inspection or during a walkthrough, they'll just say, don't worry about it. The home's covered under warranty. You can just figure that all out after you purchase the home. And I highly, highly advise against this, because going through the builder's warranty can be an absolute nightmare after the fact. It is so much better to get these issues resolved before you even close, because there again, the builder is more likely to listen to you because you haven't bought the home yet. They want to sell you the house, so you have to hold them to it and make sure that they're fixing all these problems before you close. And there are instances where the warranty won't cover something, or they just take a really long time to fix the problems. So if there are any issues that come up during the purchasing process, make sure you stand your ground with the builder. And that's another reason why it's essential to have your own realtor and your own representation, so you have another person fighting for you and pushing for all these repairs to be done. Okay, and lie number 5 with new construction is that you can't negotiate. That is not true at all, especially with these quick move-in spec homes. These builders, especially nowadays in 2024, they are trying to move this inventory. So you absolutely can negotiate, and you should negotiate. And that's something that your realtor can help you with. But there are so many things you can negotiate on, not just the price. You can negotiate for credits to buy down the interest rates. One of the builders that I'm talking to right now, they were actually willing to pay off part of the CDD for my buyers. So if you're not familiar with what a CDD is, it's a yearly fee that helps with some of the amenities in the surrounding community. And this builder was willing to pay off half of the CDD forever for the buyer, which is amazing. So there's so much that you can negotiate, and you absolutely should. And the last lie number 6, has to do with the advertised incentives by the builders. Like with anything, you'll definitely want to read the fine print. A lot of times the advertised incentives, for instance, the interest rate, only applies to certain types of loans and if you use their lender, and there can be a whole long list of other requirements that you have to meet. So although these incentives can be great, they're not always as good as they seem, so you'll definitely want to look into it and read the fine print. Okay, so I hope this video gave you a little bit more insight into the pitfalls and lies and things to avoid so you don't have a nightmare new construction scenario. And if you have any more questions about new construction or the Tampa Bay area, I would be more than happy to help you out. Go ahead and shoot me a text or send me an email. Thank you so much for watching. See ya.